John Carpenter's 1982 science fiction horror film versus Ridley Scott's Alien, which came out in 1979. We're here to consider both of these great entries of classic sci-fi horror and consider which is better. Which of these gets to be top dog and which gets to be second top dog. In case anyone hasn't seen these sci-fi horror classics, this commentary includes a number of spoilers. So, if you prefer to watch the films without knowing anything, press pause, go watch the films, and then please, come back. I like both of these films, a lot, as in I've watched them both several times. I own them both on Blu-ray, and I'd really like to get Alien and The Thing on 4K because I'm sure they will look and sound great. I've watched the sequels too. In The Thing's case, it's slim pickings, although I must admit that I enjoyed the 2011 prequel, even if it is imperfect. Briefly, on the 2011 entry, it looks like they actually went to great lengths to create real-life special effects akin to the original, The Thing, but these were cancelled and replaced with computer-generated effects which are disappointing, in many places. Behind the scenes, footage shows the practical effects and animatronics. Maybe one day we will get the special edition everyone deserves, which would include the animatronics, of course, but I doubt it. Anyway, back to The Thing versus Alien. It may not look like it, but these films are actually very similar. And I think that's the reason they're in my number 1 and number 2 slot for top horror sci-fi. You have a great protagonist in both, and again in both, the lead role is played by a solid actor. Kurt Russell in The Thing, and of course, Sigourney Weaver in Alien. Incidentally, Weaver was only in her late 20s during the production of Alien, and her performance is perfect. For Alien, I like that her character, Ripley, is not in control of the situation, even if she is a better leader than the captain, Dallas. It takes a while for everyone else on the ship to realize that she is the natural leader, along with the disappearance/death of Dallas. It's a similar situation in The Thing. Russell's MacReady has to take command after a failure of leadership. So, we've got the right kind of rising star hero in both, and they have to contend with less than stellar teammates while trying to stop a monster that wants them all dead. In Alien, we're in space, and we land briefly on a planetoid. Meanwhile, The Thing takes place in Antarctica. In both cases, these are barren and isolated environments. They are also brutal. If you get it wrong out there, the environment is going to take you down, hard. You're going to die. So you're alone. The environment is unforgiving. No one is coming to rescue you, and it's unexplored. Anything could be out there, and it is. This is a great recipe for suspense and terror. One difference between straight-up horror and science fiction horror is that there is the element of discovery. You might not like what you find. In fact, you're basically guaranteed not to, but the characters and therefore we as the audience get to enjoy uncovering the mysteries of the universe. Who knew that there were parasitic aliens that could morph into terrifying humanoids with multiple mouths? Or shapeshifters that could assimilate you and go about killing everyone? Oh, the joy of discovery. So we're in space in Antarctica. In both movies, the characters discover an alien spaceship that has crash-landed, and in both, they take something back home with them from the spaceship that they will later wish they hadn't. And cue the monster. In both movies, we've got an excellent monster. It really doesn't get much scarier and compelling. But this is where the two movies take different paths. In Alien, the film really resists showing the monster until it absolutely has to. And this is of course usually the better approach in film. As soon as you start seeing the monster too often, too much, it starts to become much less scary. In Alien, we get bursts, sorry for the pun, of frenetic energy where the monster pops out, pun again, is on the screen for just a moment, likely hurts or kills someone, and then disappears. The facehugger that pops out of the egg, bam, that's it. Next, we're searching for it in the lab and bam, it falls on someone. Then we're done. Everything's fine. We're going to have a nice meal together, nice and collegial, until, someone has indigestion and bam! There's a horrible monster and it just killed him. And then it runs away. It's the same thing when the monster is big, at least until the very end. Remember when Dallas finds it? Surprise, it's huge! And he's dead. But the thing is not like this. It's a lot more gory with an emphasis on the practical effects. The first we see of it is with the doggies. The thing, which is masquerading as a husky, starts to transform and the dogs get really upset. Well, I mean, wouldn't you? You're trapped in the kennel and there's a monster in there, and you're a dog. Anyway, this comes pretty early on in the film, and it basically tells us as the audience that this thing is weird. and it's bloody, and it's organic, and it's like nothing we've seen before. And the film makes good on this promise. We get all sorts of weird stuff throughout it. Need a reminder? Norris's head slimes/rips itself off the body before sprouting legs and eye stalks. Someone's chest opens up with teeth, and I have no idea what the thing's final form is at the end of the movie. Do you? It's all gross, it's all creepy, it's all weird, and unlike an alien, it is not scared to show itself early and relatively often. And maybe that's because it keeps changing. You have to keep being scared because you can never get used to it. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering what it turns into when they're all tied up in the room during the blood test scene. Creepy. Oops, the flamethrower won't work and the thing is coming to kill you while you're tied up. Hey, by the way, did anyone notice that both films use flamethrowers? In neither case are these people trained soldiers, special forces, or even remotely equipped to fight these things. They're just regular people doing their jobs, faced with a horrible monster that wants to kill them in a horrible, painful way. They're terrified, so they create makeshift weapons, including flamethrowers. There's an almost primal quality to it, reverting to fire to kill some unknown monster hiding in the dark. Speaking of being scared, in both Alien and The Thing, there's a rapidly increasing level of paranoia. In Alien, it's all about where's the monster. It's somewhere. It wants to kill you. And then we find out that the science officer is a robot filled with milk, and he also wants to kill you, so you can't even trust the people on your own team. Alien has the whole corporate overlord angle, which is completely absent in The Thing. I have no doubt that if they had called for help in The Thing, people would have tried to help them. Although, whether sending help was the right call is debatable. Maybe they shouldn't survive, just in case The Thing escapes as a result. Sorry. Paranoia is of course an even greater theme, if not the theme, of The Thing, since the monster will make a perfect copy of you or anyone else, and it will only reveal itself if forced to or when it suits its needs, until they figure out the blood test. There's really no way to know who is human, who is hostile. Everyone gets more and more paranoid. People stop sleeping. There's no one you can trust, but you have to keep working with others because, hey, there's a murderous space-shifting alien around. I like that to this day we still don't know for sure, as the audience, who was human at all times and when people got assimilated. Sure, there's a couple of people we know for sure were human or became assimilated, but that's usually just because they either got killed on screen by the Thing or they turned into the Thing. Take for example Blair. We know he destroys the radio equipment and goes berserk, but was he human at that point? I'm not sure. It could be that he wanted to isolate the Thing, or it could be that he was already the Thing at that point and didn't want the team calling out to warn others. Then there's that time the team decides to visit him in the shed and Blair, I assume it was him, has tied a noose. Or did Blair kill himself and the others are now just talking to the Thing? Or did Blair feel himself changing and tied a noose just in case? I don't think there are any definitive answers, but it's a lot of fun to guess at it. A fun parlor game is to try to make a chronological list of assimilations in the movie. I'll bet no one has the same order. Alien doesn't have any of that element. It's a much simpler film, and the alien is basically just an animal. It might be a smart animal, but it doesn't make plans or deceive the way the Thing does, and this makes it less scary. The Thing gets to be a monster and a smart, scary human-like adversary. It's smarter than most of the humans it's interacting with, and it probably knows this. It takes advantage of their fear and paranoia. The alien in Alien doesn't do that. In fact, the scariest part of that film to me is the breakfast scene when it ruptures out of the guy's chest. It's totally unexpected, it's horrifically disgusting and vile, and nothing in the Thing comes close to that level. But after that, it's mostly a game of cat and mouse, hunting for the alien throughout the Nostromo. I'm not knocking Alien for this. Some of the best films, especially in horror, are simple. Fear isn't that complicated an emotion. You don't need scores of characters, multiple monsters, etc. Done effectively, a simple and streamlined premise can be very scary, and that's what Alien is. Maybe that's why Aliens, the sequel to Alien, is an action science fiction horror film. Emphasis on action. It's still horror, but they just couldn't do Alien again. Once you've done it, you're done. If you want to continue that universe, you have to do something very different, and Aliens certainly accomplish that. What Alien does have, which the Thing doesn't, is creepy body violation. The facehugger violates people, impregnates them, and then these monsters get birthed through your chest. That's how these creatures procreate. Vomit. The Thing assimilates people and it's creepy and gory and gross, but there's no impregnating people through their mouth. Again, vomit. Actually, we're not even sure what the Thing wants. Is it just trying to escape and the humans keep trying to kill it? We see a little spaceship that it built out of spare parts. Would it have escaped and left everyone alone if given the chance? Somehow I doubt it, but it's possible. We really don't know what the thing is thinking. It's vicious and hostile for sure, but beyond that, we don't know much about it. The alien in Alien kills people. That's about it. In terms of which movie is scarier, Alien has to get first place. There are some genuinely frightening scenes in The Thing, but Alien is just so disturbing. We've already talked about the breakfast scene. Both films involve violation, but to varying extents. In Alien, it repurposes the human body as a host for its young, which is really gross. The Thing is similar in that it assimilates you and can infect your cells, but to me, it's less horrible. Still horrible, just less. If I have to think of the scariest scene of The Thing, the scene where Bennings is assimilated and then cornered comes to mind. That scream he lets out is right out of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There's the blood test scene we talked about and the scene where someone's arms get chomped or chopped off too, so The Thing has a lot of gore going for it. Maybe The Thing wins out on the subcategory of gore, while Alien wins out on being more disturbing in terms of body horror. It's just a more psychologically disturbing film all around. But the question we came here for was a simple one. Which of these two science fiction horror classics is the better movie? I love Alien, and have seen it multiple times and will see it multiple times more. Alien is great. It's scary, it's gory, it has Sigourney Weaver, a killer android, and it takes its time to reveal the true extent of the horrible threat everyone is under. But for my money, The Thing offers an experience that is a lot more fun and better rewatchability. The Thing has all the positives of Alien, barring Weaver, in addition to an antagonist that is just so much more cunning. It's thinking, it has emotions. That's interesting to me. For example, the next time you watch it, pay close attention to the blood test scene. Notice how Palmer, the Thing, or at least one of them, gives a little smirk when he knows the game is up, that he's about to be discovered. There are just so many more nuances to The Thing that are apparent on subsequent viewings. The threat is so much more challenging because the Thing is learning fast, and it's multiplying. At least in the cinematic release, there is no real possibility that there could be more aliens on board the Nostromo. No one is worried that the alien is going to take them back to the planetoid to have them infected by facehuggers. Ew. That's just not the case in The Thing. The Thing is multiplying. You don't know how many of them there are, and they're coming for you. In fact, you might already be infected. It's hard to rate either of these films higher up than the other since they're basically perfect versions of what they're trying to accomplish. But for my money, The Thing is the better movie. It just has better rewatchability, and the villain is more interesting to me. What about you? Do you prefer Alien over The Thing? Does the alien monster scare you in ways that The Thing really can't or doesn't? Please, let me know in the comments. So that's The Thing 1982 versus Alien 1979. If you enjoyed that, please press the like button and be sure to subscribe for more.